in terms of time boundaries, this is actually quite funny, because in my own experience of time boundaries, um of course you have time for things like, okay, imagine now there is a work that you have pending, and then this is a person that you actually do want to talk to, you're interested in this person. Of course, there are a lot of neurochemicals in your mind, or you have a bedtime. That's my own situation. Then there's this person that you're actually interested in, and you want to talk to them. I know it's very hard, but you have to, ideally, because of how fragile time is, you can't get time, you can't get back the time that you have forsaken. So in that regard, it will actually be better for you to focus on your work. I know that's going to be very hard, but that's a sort of you honoring your time boundaries, knowing that, okay, your time is important and you can't always get it back. So in that sort of situation, I know it's hard, but like, I'm just trying to give you a picture of how that might come up. Maybe you have work to do, and then there's this person that you really, really want to talk to, and then the time you have a deadline. So, of course, in that situation, the best thing to do is to sit down and actually focus on your work and meet up that deadline. Better, easier said than done. I know. I think the last boundary has to do with material boundary. I think for material boundary, it has to do with, since we're talking about romantic relationships, and maybe you're the kind of person that loves giving gifts to someone. You like giving gifts, you like giving monetary things to a person. I feel like in every relationship, you need to sort of decide, how much can I really give to this person, in a way that, okay, even if things do not work out with this person, it will be okay for me. There's sort of boundary that you need to set for yourself, to be like, okay, this is what I'm willing to spend for this person. This is like, okay, I'm willing to like spend, maybe it can be a monthly thing, it can be a weekly thing, but this is the amount that I'm willing to spend on this person, in a way that, not that you have 30K in your bank account and you're spending all of that 30K on that person, when you know that you're not going to really, it's not easy for you to get that 30K back. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, but material boundary has to do with really, really taking yourself into consideration and see, what can I give to this person in a way that it won't hamper my own well-being, my own feelings, my own needs. Not that you'll be giving everything to a person when you know, when things get bad between you and that person, you won't like, the fact that, okay, you spend so much on this person is going to be one of the things that's going to impede your well-being. And that's it, that's what I believe, why boundaries are important in romantic relationships. They tend to protect us, even if that relationship does not work out. I feel like the amount of pain you will experience that relationship did not work out is way better than if you kept violating your boundaries for this person. If you kept, okay, maybe you have a deadline that you forsook that deadline and chose to talk to this person, and then maybe you end up losing your job or something. I know that's extreme, but you end up losing your job because of that deadline, and it's because you violated a boundary. You were talking to this person when you shouldn't be talking to them. They were distracting you and stuff like that, and you couldn't even control yourself or anything like that. So that's sort of, okay, after, when you're done with that relationship, maybe you guys break up. When you think about all these things that you had to do for this person, it's one of those things that's going to like break you immensely and make you feel a lot of pain. Or maybe you spent so much on this person, and then this person ended up breaking your heart, or the relationship did not even work out at the end, and you like spend so much, you give so much gifts, even against what your feelings or needs are. That's just messed up, I think. And that's what I feel like. And I feel like, not just in that sense, I feel like having boundaries protects you from manipulators and narcissists, people that want to like people. And I feel, and narcissists tend to encroach on people that are like, that have poor boundaries. But narcissists, manipulators, those are the kind of people that they want to, those are the kind of people that fall into a sort, that are like an easy prey for them, people that lack sufficient boundaries. And coming to lacking sufficient boundaries, of course, I have to, attachment style almost always comes up in almost every discussion. But like, in terms of your own attachment style, um there is a sort of pattern of lacking boundaries with people that have a disorganized attachment style, also known as fearful avoidant, they have the poorest boundaries. So in terms of ranking people with poorest boundaries, people that lack people that lack the most people with the most poor boundaries, fearful avoidant slash disorganized, anxious preoccupied, then DAs tend to have strong boundaries, and also then the ones with the best boundaries are the secure attached. Of course, that's obvious, but like I'm just trying to help you become aware of the fact that okay, maybe you need to be able to, like, depending on your attachment style, you need to be more aware of how to set boundaries or working on your own boundaries. Next thing I would like to talk about is how to know, briefly, how to know when your boundary has been violated. This is probably going to be a two-part video. I'm likely going to post a video this week and then post this same video, the part 2 of this video next week. So the second thing about the thing I want to also talk about boundaries is how to know when your boundary has been violated. So sometimes it won't be obvious to you that your boundary has been violated, but when you think about, excuse me, but when you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or you just feel uneasy around the person, there is a likelihood that it's either your needs are not being met, your core wounds, and the third thing is that there is a likelihood that your boundaries have been violated. So you need to like sort of sit down and think to yourself or with yourself and decide, okay, what is going on right now, like what just happened, and really evaluate. And another thing that I would like to talk about, and I hear it a lot in the dating scene, is this issue of sacrifice or compromise. A lot of people tend to tell you that okay, to be in love, you have to be with a person, you have to be able to make sacrifices, you have to whatever. And I feel like, and not just that, I feel like this is an idea I got from Thais Gibson, but like, and I feel it resonates a lot with me, that sacrifices have to do with neglecting your sort of core needs to be with a person. Well, compromise has to do with the sort of, okay, it's not, you're not, you have, in the ranking of needs, there are more needs that are more important than the others. So in terms of compromise, lesser needs, you're like negotiating with a person in terms of your needs. Okay, how can we reach a sort of understanding, not that in a way that I would okay neglect my needs to the point where I resentment starts building up. In terms of sacrifices, there is a high likelihood that if you sacrifice too much in a relationship, resentment is going to build up. You don't want to do this, you're not comfortable with this, you have this certain need, but you're like neglecting it because of this person. You have this is not sitting well with you, but you're violating it because of this person. Maybe you feel like okay, having premarital sex or something like that is not okay with you, but you're neglecting it because you feel okay, every relationship, or if you're in love with someone, you have to make sacrifices. In terms of compromise and sacrifice, compromise simply has to do with you looking into your partner, you and your partner discussing and finding a middle ground for your needs. While in terms of sacrifice, you're just, there's a sort of imbalance. One person neglecting their needs, and the other person is not even like, you're not even considering, you're just neglecting your own needs without thinking of a way in which um you could reach a sort of balance. And the issue with sacrifice is that it tends to give rise to resentment. Okay, so yeah, and the last thing I would like to add here is that I would like to end with, you don't have to forsake your boundaries to be loved. And if a person requires you to forsake your boundaries in order for them to love you, then I think you just have to reevaluate that relationship for yourself. So yes, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and also reach out to me so we can have a bigger conversation about this. So bye, see you next week or very soon.